Stop chasing. Look, man, y'all get on in here, man. Y'all get on in here. Happy Sunday to y'all. Y'all know what time it is. It's a Sunday watch list. We're getting ready to go over some setups that are going to really put you in a good position this week if you can just be patient enough to let them form. All right, so as y'all come in, y'all go ahead and hit that doop, that like button. All right, KDH, what's going on, man? How you feeling over there? Doop, you already know. Y'all get on in here. Best Beezy, what up, what up? Y'all get on in here. All right. So we're gonna talk about some levels. We're going to get some setups going. Yeah, now it's time to lock in, man. Listen, this past week has created a situation that is putting us much closer to a much bigger move, right? I'm gonna break down all of that in this video. I'm gonna talk about what we can expect this week and what we can expect over the next few weeks, possibly months, that is setting us up for like a really big move, something that I think can completely change anybody's situation if you play it right. Okay, we got too much information and support in this group for us all not to rise together. So I want y'all to really lock in, pay attention, make sure y'all got y'all notes out, or however you take notes, just make sure you locked in and ready, okay? Because I got some good levels for you. All right, who else we got in here? 6 Mile Down, what up, man? CD, what up, what up? Big Sean in the building. Who else we got in here? P, I see you, P. You said first time joining. There we go. Christiana, good to have you. Subsistence, what's going on? John, what's going on, man? Hey, listen, if you're here, man, I appreciate y'all being here. I need y'all to do one thing, all right? I'm never going to gatekeep any levels, any information. Just do not gatekeep the likes, all right? Hit that like button, doop, one time for me, all right? QTZ, I see you. What up? How you feeling? How y'all weekend been? How's y'all weekend been? Miss Virgo, how you feeling over there? KDHK. Yeah, I got the dreads down today. You know what I'm saying? Got them out. I took my hair out. Um, Probably gonna get it done in maybe rock out with this for a little bit, but probably get them done a little bit later in the week. Um, you already know, Rise. It ain't no chasing over here, man. Doop. What up, Tish? Yeah, listen. You feel me, Best B? Listen. All right, look, we gonna get into it. All right. Look, before I go any further, anybody that's new to this channel, anybody that has been on the fence about joining a strong trading community, I'm telling you that now is a great time to lock in with the opportunities that are presenting themselves and that will continue to over the next couple of months. It would behoove you to know this skill set so that you can easily take advantage. At the very least, you will be in a community where you can take the calls and the plays that we're taking during the process of you learning how to do this. So it's a win-win. Do not miss out on the opportunity that's coming up right now. All right. I won't harp on it. If it resonates, great. The link is going to be in the bio or the description of this video and any other video that I post. All right. So we're gonna get into it, man. We're gonna get into it. Optima, how you feeling? Beautiful Sunday. There we go. Johnny, what's going on, man? All right, listen. Doop, hit that like button for me one time. All right, that's all I need. That's all I need. Let's get these likes up before I jump into it. You said, I love how this family pitch so we can make money such still win. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely a family over in TPC. And look, we got some goodies for y'all coming up soon. All right, I know y'all be like, oh, y'all keep teasing us. Y'all keep teasing us. Trust me. The little it's not for no reason. I'm trying to tell y'all when we finally be like, all right, this is what we doing. It's just I feel like it's just going to take the group dynamic to a whole nother level. All right, I ain't gonna say too much, but I feel like it's going to take the whole group to another level. All right, but let's lock in. Stace, how you feeling over there, Stace? All right, let's get into it. All right, so I got 3 stocks that I'm looking at for the week. We got silver, okay, we got Microsoft and I believe the other one was Nvidia, or was it? What did I put on that watch list? Y'all? Hold on. I think it was Nvidia. I know I'm looking at Nvidia. I'm not sure if I included it in the watch list. But typically it's like 3 to 6, stocks that I'm looking at a given time, um, before it's exhausting. Um, yeah, Microsoft, Silver, and oh yeah, Amazon. Oh, Amazon, Amazon. All right. Um, side watches. I know Best B's gonna like this. Is SoFi though, man. Listen, Best B. When SoFi finally, like when we get to the bottom of this thing that we're in, right? SoFi is going to create so much wealth for people over the next few years. I just want to let y'all know that. All right, Darrell, what's going on, man? How you feeling? All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's just jump into it. No more delay. We about to jump into how y'all are going to get paid this week. All right. So I'm gonna go straight into. I see my screen. Let me know if y'all can see my screen. Also let me know how the audio is sounding for y'all. Everything good on the audio side? Just want to make sure we good. Just want to make sure we good on the audio side before I give y'all these plays. All right. Okay. Screen and audio are good. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's get into it, y'all. So, all right. The first thing that I want to go over, y'all, is silver. All right, and I want y'all to understand that I'm looking at this on a weekly time frame. It's so important to look at plays on the weekly time frame because again, I told you that the time frames are like telephone, right? It's like every level down that you go, it gets a little distorted. Okay, the weekly is a solid time frame to let you know what's to come and also what to expect for the week. The reason it's important to know what to expect for the week is because if something goes against the what the week is supposed to confirm that week, you can know that there may possibly be some sort of what we would call a rug pull. A lot of times we might confuse a rug pull with something that was already in motion, but because of how the week started out, we classified it or we called it something else. All right. So it's important to look at the weekly so that you can understand what is like going according to plan and what's not going according to plan. If something's going according to plan, then that can tell you like, okay, if this made a move in the direction too far, there may be some sort of pullback later. Or if it hasn't made the move yet, then okay, that kind of tells me what the next few days may be like. Now, there's a few things that are taking place this week that are very important. For one, tomorrow we got your boy Romy Rome talking about the like just like where everything is at with like rate cuts and stuff like that. And there's a possibility that there may not be any more, right? So people are going to be paying very close attention to what Romy Rome, Jerome Powell, the Fed chair, is saying. They're going to be watching everything down from the color of his tie, the tonality of his voice, right? His demeanor. Is he optimistic? Is he hopeful? Like anything that seems a little off could tip the scale into the bearish sentiment. Now, I know we've been coming down, substantially over the past couple of weeks, right? We are like in a short-term bear trend, but it may not be over, right? It may not be over for this week on certain stocks. I'll get into all of that when as it pertains to each stock. When it, especially in the tech space, it looks like there's a lot more room to come down. But we'll start right here with silver. Okay, so silver currently has a fail to down using the strat method. Okay, By this time, most of you that tune into me understand the strat method, understand what a fail two down is. For those who do not know, a fail two down is simply something that failed to go lower than that previous day. And then it closed higher than what it opened, causing the start of a reversal. These typically need some sort of confirmation to be valid, right? To be able to continue in that bullish direction. But when we are waiting for that confirmation, it could be safe to say that, okay, this week might be that confirmation. What would a confirmation look like on something like this? Okay, this is the reversal setup right here. A confirmation would be a close bullish on the weekly with a higher high and a higher low. All right, and that's what it's supposed to be. We also happen to have a fair value gap sitting right here. So what seems the most realistic to me is a little closure, right? A bullish closure to fill this fair value gap. That's going to be when a decision is made about if it's going to come back down or if it's going to continue higher and try to go and retest this level up here of 90, which is the start of a bearish order block. All right. Now we know that with with war going on and stuff like that, silver, gold, oil, stuff like that. These are all things that are skyrocketing, right? We've seen over the past few months like how these stocks have skyrocketed, made people a ton of money. There's also been some pullbacks, but again, we are rejecting. I'm sorry, we're bouncing right here off of a fair value gap, forming a reversal pattern that could be confirmed this week. So what I'll be looking for on the week is for it to open lower than this particular candle, but not lower than the low of the previous week. If it can hold within this candle in the first couple of days, I'm really loving the opportunity to swing this to the upside with a target of about $72, which would be the first filling of a fair value gap. All right, now I plan on getting weeklies for that particular play, right? Of course, I'm going to break it down throughout the week if you're in the Prosperity Collective on exactly how we're going to play it and get into it. But I just want you guys to be familiar with the targets that I'm going to be looking for and what's going to justify any sort of entry, right? If it fails this level right here, we're not really so interested in it anymore because the chance of it being a confirmation, obviously decreases or really just goes away. All right, so we want to see this hold above this low right here when the week starts, and then we want to see some sort of failure to this downside and a push up on the daily, but still flipping between the daily and the weekly to make sure that it's it hasn't like broken this particular candle yet. Again, a weekly swing, possibly a swing out to next week, would work really well with this, and there will be some intraday opportunities that I'll be dropping down to the 2 hour and 30-minute time frame for just to kind of get in and get out. All right. If at the close of this week we do indeed come and close at the fair value gap or above, right, and it's closing with a strong bullish sentiment, then it may be another opportunity to swing again up to about $90. All right, a lot of money can be made right there. I think it's a beautiful setup. All right, so that's silver. Let's see, Jamie in the building. How you feeling? All right, cool, cool, cool. Again, y'all continue to come in and hit that like button as you get in here. All right. So we just went over silver. I'm getting ready to go over to Microsoft, which I think is a really good opportunity as well. And then from Microsoft, we'll jump right over to Amazon, which I think is like the play of the week. All right. So Microsoft is. Give me 1 second. Microsoft has come down into this bullish order block on a weekly. All right. And what do you all notice about this right here? Let me just kind of see how you guys have been paying attention. So when you look at this on the weekly, right, and the daily, we can go to the daily. The daily has a similar thing, right? When you look at this on the daily, right, I zoomed out for a reason, so look at the entire thing. So this is the daily perspective, and this is the weekly perspective. What do you notice is possibly getting ready to form? Let me see who's been paying attention. You saying my screen is frozen? Is my screen frozen? Y'all see me moving? Y'all let me know if the screen frozen. I don't want to continue if the screen is frozen. Can y'all? You said screen froze. What is it frozen on? You said might need to restart the app, huh? Hold up. You said screen is stuck on silver. Oh, that's crazy. All right, hold on real quick, y'all. Y'all stay there for a second. Y'all stay there. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Y'all bear with me. I'm about to just restart this. I'm just gonna restart the trade like trading view. All right. But I do want y'all to see what's going on Microsoft. This is very important. This is very, very, very important, y'all. All right. All right. Very, very, very important. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm about to switch back. And then I want y'all to let me know, if it's still frozen when we switch over. If we good, then we'll continue right along. All right. All right. Okay. So can y'all see this? Y'all see silver right now? Let me switch to Microsoft just to make sure that it's changing. Can y'all see Microsoft? Tanveri in the building. What's going on, man? You said not you, but the chart head and shoulders pattern. Okay. So can y'all see Microsoft right now? Just give me a thumbs up, yes or no. Can y'all currently see Microsoft on the weekly? Okay, we all good. Cool. All right. So this is Microsoft on the weekly, y'all. Now I just want to see if y'all see what's forming. All right. So we got this on the weekly. Let me flip to the daily real quick, and I'll just kind of like narrow it a little bit. So I'm gonna narrow it so that you can see it on the daily. Now, from what you're seeing on the daily and then what you're seeing on the weekly, right? What do you see is possibly forming? Cortez, what's going on, man? What do y'all see is possibly forming on this chart here? The weekly and the daily look the exact same. Just the only difference is there's just more candlesticks inside of the daily, obviously, right? But what are you guys seeing forming? This is going to be critical to understand. He's saying double bottom. Um, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, double bottom also. Double bottom definitely. But what else? What else are you seeing? I want y'all to understand this real quick. This is gonna be critical to how you analyze charts, just in the future. So you see a double bottom, yeah, a double bottom is forming. But what other pattern could also be forming out of a double bottom? When we talk about looking past what you're currently seeing, what could be forming? We're gonna get y'all right today. There we go. There we go. All right. McKinney said it. All right. Head and shoulders. All right. So when we're looking at charts, y'all, we want to see the patterns that are already in, and then we want to also be able to see what could possibly be forming based off of what took place that week. So as you can see on Microsoft, we've been coming down for weeks. We've been coming down for weeks. Microsoft is also a major company in the stock market, right? Holds a lot of weight on these indexes. So if this bounces right here, yeah, you could call it double bottom because it did touch right here and it's touching here again. You could absolutely call it a double bottom. But what happens if we go into retrace mode, right? Like if this week we get some sort of positive sentiment from the Fed and then we start to push up. Well, what I believe is going to happen is that we're going to come up, we're going to fill this fair value gap, we're going to clean this fair value gap up right here, and then we're going to come and we're going to retest this bearish order block right here. All right. If we come up and we retest this bearish order block right here, what also would have been would be pretty much in the midst of being formed, right? If we come up to right here, a head and shoulders pattern would be forming. So let's just say we come up here and say it takes like, let's say it takes like 3 to 4 weeks, right? I'm giving you guys this in advance because I want you to understand what the market is ultimately trying to do. And then I'm going to go into like what the game plan is for the week for this particular stock. But I want you to understand, like we saw like some pretty aggressive selling this week in a lot of stocks. All right. And basically the market is a few percent away from correction territory. All right. Now, correction territory, that could just mean, all right, we just come correct and then it's just to clean up and then we go back and we continue like a broader bull market. But if we come down a little bit more, like let's say even like the bottom of here, or SPY comes down a little bit more, we could go into correction territory, then we could bounce, and then we could come up and reach an inverted hammer and then a bearish confirmation. We could be looking at Microsoft as well as the market coming significantly lower, even down into the 295, 300 area, right? The neckline is here. The neckline is in, right? It could even be a slanted neckline, right? It may even come down as far as this order block right here, which is around like 330 something, right? Before it finally bounces and then makes its way up there. Again, since these are weekly candles, we are talking about something that could take months to form. The reason I'm bringing it up now is because I'm telling you guys that a monumental opportunity is on its way and you can slap it in both ways, right? You can ride it down and then you can also position yourself to ride it back up over time. All right. Now, if this market bounces and you're not paying like attention to the order block that's right here in this area, you're not paying attention to the fact that this could be turning into a head and shoulders pattern, then when it starts to pump, because it would have spent so much time pumping, you're going to think that the market is on its way to like full recovery and that we're just in an all-out bull market. And that is when the market loves to take your money. It loves to make you forget about the overall picture, right? It loves to make you temporarily euphoric so that you kind of like think that the market is just going to be like this forever. That's where most amateur traders lose their money. They leave something going in the direction that you want it to go in for just long enough for you to be like, man, this is easy. And then the next thing you know, it's just like, and then the fall is even harsher than the one that it just recovered from. If you look back to this, we're talking about this head and shoulders dates back to 2024. Okay? This dates back to 2024. If it rejects here and fails, the distance can take this into what we would call a bear market, right? It's not just on Microsoft, it's on the indexes as well, right? So when we finally go up and retest and we fail, you can ride it down. And then when we bottom out, you can start to put money into leaps and equities, all right? Again, this is a long-term game plan, but I want you to be aware of what is taking place. All right, now, in terms of what we're going to do this week, it's the same on the daily, right? We got it bouncing right here at the order block. We just need to see confirmation. We just need to see confirmation, and we can easily, within a week, just on a pullback, make money on the bounce up into these two fair value gaps. All right? Now, because this has been coming down so long, right? It's only natural that it pulls back. What we're going to be looking for is to see if this is a pullback to form a bear flag or if this is a pullback to come up and retest the levels up here. All right. But either way, there will be a decision that's being made in this area because it is where institutions are sitting. All right. So on Monday, again, when the Fed talks, if we get some sort of like hesitation in his speech or pessimism, we've already been spending time coming down. This could just mean like further downside on the market. But again, it may not happen all in one day because so many stocks are at bounce levels. So many stocks are at places that people already have their orders placed. So again, just because of the location, we might get a temporary bounce. So in a bullish scenario, say we close in the center of this fair value gap. First target will be the top of the fair value gap. Next target will be up to the next fair value gap, and then the final target would be either halfway or a filling of this second fair value gap right here. We worry about all of these later as we read price action, but just for this current week, this is what I'll be watching for. And again, that's the more likely scenario because when you go to the weekly, again, we've pushed down really far into the bullish order block, and there has not been any sort of sign of reversal, right? A lot of times the market will use this as a way to trick people because there's no wick here. So people are like, oh yeah, it's definitely going to go down, forgetting that it's right here in a bullish order block. All right. So tomorrow we could actually, jump up and create that can then lead us to coming up to this fair value gap over the next 2 weeks. All right. So I want y'all to be cautious. I want y'all to also, have your long-term vision on, right? And I would even set alerts for 450. Okay. Set alerts for 450 for Microsoft and then make a note that, okay, at 450, if we get some sort of rejection right there, this could be the start of that next wave down that could possibly lead to more than just a correction, but an actual bear market. All right. You said spots possibly going to 600. Yeah, missing 16. Yeah. Y'all get them likes up, y'all. Appreciate you. 2,600. You said, yeah, we might need a temporary bounce in there. Yeah, exactly. Y'all know what's going on. All right. Yep, exactly. Cool. All right. So that's Microsoft. Now we're going to jump into again what I think is the best setup this week, which is Amazon. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful setup, y'all. Beautiful setup, and I'm gonna show you exactly why. All right. Long term, yes, this could come down pretty substantially, but just look at this on the weekly. Right? Close outside of the bear flag. Right? I went ahead and took the initiative to make the measure move. Right? I measured the distance of the pole on the bear flag, attached it to the flag, and now we're looking at coming down around this order block as far down as about 156. This could happen over the next few months, right? This is also an indication of a possible bear market ensuing, y'all. Unless we just bottom out here and decide to, let this be like some version of like a double bottom, and then we reverse up and try to clean up this fair value gap right here. Unless that happens because there's some sort of miraculous news that takes place tomorrow when the Fed speaks, the most likely scenario is that this is going to fall. Okay? So what I think you guys should do to play this smart is to just read price action, because then it would give you a much better chance for entry. What would be ideal is a retest of 206. 206 is right where the outside of the bear flag is positioned. So if it goes and retests 206 and then it fails and then we get a confirmation, it is a very strong chance that over the next few weeks, Amazon comes way down. You can go ahead and get puts 30 days out and just let the money accumulate. There will be big days to the downside, couple of flat days, maybe even a couple of pullbacks. But over that period of time, 30 to 60 days, it's going to be such a big move on Amazon. We're talking about $30 to $40, especially if tomorrow is not good news. All right. If they decide that they're going to back off on the rate cuts and stuff like that, the market is definitely going to take that as the straw that broke the camel's back. We already are sensitive. We already are scared and leery because of the war and all these other economic factors that are taking place right now. So that's going to be the straw that breaks the back if the Fed is just like, look, I don't know, man. We in a tight situation. And it's not looking too good. All right, so I want y'all to keep that in mind. So those are my three stocks, for the week: Amazon, Microsoft, Silver. Some really big movements that are shaping up in those for the short term and the long term. All right, I'm gonna flip back to y'all real quick to see a couple that y'all want to go over. Again, I'm gonna be getting out of here in probably about 15 minutes, but I can go over a few plays in addition to what I've already called. All right, but if you can just focus on those three and really like make sure that you understand the levels, right? Understand the levels that they could possibly go to. I can even give targets for this, right? I don't think I gave a target. So let me give you the target for Amazon. So first target would be here, right? If it can close below that, y'all make sure y'all writing this down. Oh shoot. Or at the bottom of this candle right here in the order block. So again, this would be if you have multiple contracts, this would be for your runners. But we could put target three right here at 165.50. Shot this, have these levels on your chart and understand. Also, make sure you draw this bear flag out on the weekly, right? We got the strong move down, we got the pullback, all right, and then again we got the flagpole distance that we just simply took a trend line to draw a straight vertical line, and then we attached it to the outside, which is the breakout point, which should be happening this week. Okay, again, 206 is a retest. Okay, a retest of 206 would be an ideal entry if we can get a fail there. All right, or if you would like to be more patient, you could wait for the failure of the retest and then a break through this two down candle right here that we got last week. So a break of previous week lows, and you could enter there on swings. Okay, either of those would be really good entries. It just depends on what type of confirmation you're more into of the 206 level. So maybe some sort of reversal signal here, and then a bearish confirmation that next day. All right, so we'll have to shift down to the daily and see how it's forming on the on the week. All right. You said thoughts on Palantir. You said the Fed may be forced to hike rates, but they won't spook the market now and trigger recession. Listen, I know they've pulled out. This is the thing. This is the thing. And I made a video about this for some reason. When I posted this video, I truly think that I restarted the computer. There was plenty of data. I've done it on another computer. For some reason, the stuff that I was talking about in that video, they would not let it post. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't know if it was, but I was talking a lot about this particular thing, like Trump, the market manipulation, and how a lot of it is not working anymore. Maybe those type of words have to be reserved for like lives and stuff like that. But they were not letting me upload the video. Right? I did it at least 5 times. All right, and it kept getting cut off like as I got into the into what I was talking about. So I say it right here. It's like a lot of the manipulation is reached a point of diminishing returns. It's no longer going to be able to carry us out of the inevitable. All right, the last miniature bear market that we had was in 2022 because of inflation, and we have the worst everything right now, y'all. The worst pretty much every sign of a bear market is in. Once we get to a correction, that's when you're going to start seeing more people in like major media starting to talk about bear markets. But I'm telling you, I've been talking about this bear market for almost a year now, and how it was, and I've been walking you through how it's going to form, right? So I'm thinking late this year, possibly early 2027 is when we will officially like be in that spot, and that's just based off of technicals, right? That's not listening to the news. That's not looking for like something to chase. That's like just looking at what the market has been doing and what everything is saying, even from a fundamental perspective. There's also a lot of things that are shifting. And when things are shifting at a rapid pace, you can see this in history. Whenever there is something that is very new introduced, it creates a lot of confusion, right? You got to also think about the people that were invested in AI that started or that got in late or that were FOMO and lost a lot of money, and how much of the market that represents, how much of the retail market that represents. All right, so again, Amazon's looking, everything that's on every major tech company is looking like it is forming a very bearish setup on a longer term scale, right? Not just the 4 hour and the daily. These big tech companies on the weekly are looking bearish. All right, so unless something changes drastically, which I don't like, I really think about it. What can they say or introduce that is going to give, restore confidence for institutions and retailers to trade tech? Retailers have already rotated out of tech. They're already in small caps. They're already in healthcare. They're already in in oil and in metals. So something major would have to take place for them to rotate back within a short period of time, especially while the economy is not doing well. All right. So again, if there's not a rate cut and there's a rate hike, I don't see how we could possibly start going up. It just wouldn't make sense, right? And again, we could bounce. I'm not saying that we won't bounce, but I'm talking about an extended, like a widening of the bull market and an extended recovery where we would go and retest highs and go above. We have to go to correction and bear market, in my opinion, before we recover highs. That's just my opinion. All right. And again, y'all, I got to say this in every video, okay? Anything that I talk about on here is for entertainment purposes only. All right. Nothing that I'm talking about is law. All right. I can't be giving you guys financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. So anything that I say on this broadcast, just know that you are deciding to use your brain and make that decision based off of your observations, your research, and your due diligence, not because I'm on here talking and telling you to do that. All right, I just want to get that straight. All right, so yeah, that's my pitch, y'all. I'm gonna look at Palantir because I know somebody asked about Palantir, and I'm gonna be getting up out of here in just a second. But I'm telling y'all, listen, if you're not locked into the Prosperity Collective, it's time. It's time. We're going crazy this week. All right, the link is in the description of all of my videos. Go watch a video. Go watch an old live. Go see how many plays worked out the day after I called it on the live. The day after I went over the levels on the live, right? Pretty much giving you guys free money if you just show up for yourselves. Now imagine what you would gain by being a part of a community who's showing up for you every day, who you can bounce questions off of, unlike a lot of other groups out there. All right, I've been a part of them. I was also a student like you are at one point. And what was missing is everything that Prosperity Collective is today. All right, we couldn't ask questions. I couldn't get an elaboration on things that I didn't quite understand. So I'm like, all right, well, when it's my turn, right, I'm going to make sure that people have everything they need to be successful. So that's what we're doing. All right, again, the link is in the description. This video, this live, every other video. If it resonates, we'd love to have it. All right, let's go look at Palantir. All righty. All right, look, Palantir is sitting right here on the weekly inside of this fair value gap. It has one of my favorite setups, y'all. Again, everything in tech is looking bearish. Everything in tech is looking bearish, y'all.
This is a 3 bar down, right? A 3 down candle, right? What follows a 3 candle, y'all? What follows a 3 down? What follow? Yeah, Best B said TPC made him better. Absolutely. And now he out here killing it. All right. What follows a 3 candle, y'all? What follows a 3 candle? All right. If you see us 3 down on a weekly, you better be sure that a 2 down is to follow. Right. So we got the bearish 3 bar, which will be followed by a 2 bar to the downside. Right. A bearish 2 down. Right. So this fair value gap at minimum will get filled with that 2 bar, but I see it coming down to come and retest this failed 2 down, or sorry, this failed 2 down right here at about 126.60, right? So we could lose about $20 on Palantir just this week, especially, y'all, like I'm saying, if the news is not well received. So just imagine if you are already in a bearish trend, right, short term. We've already been, like, people have already been taken out of so many positions, right? A lot of people were, like, were buying up calls, buying up the dip, and getting knocked completely out of that last week. So if this takes place, like this particular setup that we have right here is already in, and then we get terrible news from the Fed, what do y'all think is going to happen to the market? Right? Especially for the tech stocks that are not sitting at like a at an order block or a bounce level. Microsoft sometimes will outperform, or it may go in a counter direction of the market. Netflix does that sometimes too. I've seen it with Nvidia a couple times, but for the most part, these companies are going to honor the sentiments of the market. I wouldn't be surprised that if by the afternoon time we saw like it was all red in the market. All right. Again, I'm not saying that we're not going. There's not a possibility for a couple of bounces across the market, but unless there is some really good news, the 3-2 bearish continuation is what we're looking to capitalize with tomorrow on Palantir. All right. And what's he say? Yeah, exactly. He said or 3-1-2. Yep. He said Palantir come to play. Listen, no, listen. Palantir is gonna be one of the ones, y'all. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for sure. Again, y'all, in the morning, make sure you are there bright and early. Let me switch back over to y'all. Make sure you're there bright and early, because we're gonna have some bangers, right? Last week was a banger week. We closed out Friday. What did we hit, y'all? What I hit? Nvidia twice. Day before that hit Meta. We talking about all of these 50+% plays intraday, right? We hit Nvidia for a banger swing, Thursday into Friday, right? Now with this momentum moving to the downside, right? We have some big moves that. So anybody that's look, matter of fact, I gotta go in my book bag and I gotta look at who's on the list, because lately I've been checking a lot of people off that honey bun list. If you are new and you don't know what a honey bun list is, it might be time for you to go on there. But the goal is to get off of there. All right. So the honey bun list is people who have yet to hit 100% on a single trade. All right. A honey bun is 100% trade or more. If it's 2, that's a double honey bun. 3 is a triple honey bun. Right. So if you have not hit a honey bun, matter of fact, let me see. If you haven't got 100% trade and you're on this broadcast right now, let me know so I can put you on the list, because it's a pleasure for me to take y'all off of that, right? I like to call a play and you like, look, like I think it was KD or KP. KP last week got her first honey bun. We had to change her name to KPZ, right? We had to change her name to KPZ. She got her first honey bun, her first 100% trade, right? This is what's happening when people are joining the Prosperity Collective, going to taking their first trade to getting their first honey bun within months, right? The beautiful thing about the Prosperity Collective is you also get to learn while you're earning, right? I'm not taking too many losses. Isaiah is not taking too many losses. So just positioning yourself where you take the best of the trades that we're calling, whether they're swings or you're taking plays on IWM, can allow you to accumulate and build your account while you are learning how to do this. This is the strategy that a lot of people have used. Some people will just use it as practice, do it in their, in their paper trading account, or some people will take our trades in their real account and they'll practice for themselves what they've been learning in their paper trading account, so that by the time they're ready to trade, they already got a bigger bag than what they started with. All right. We have all the resources in the world for you. We got the class, we got the work sessions that happen every Thursday at 5:30 Pacific. Matter of fact, I got a really special one for y'all on Thursday. I'm coming back again and we're going to go straight trend lines. We're going to talk about every single thing you need to know about trend lines, because I'm noticing there's still some people that are not taking advantage of their power. All right. Them trend lines are going to make you so much money on every time frame if you use them correctly. And we'll talk about it. All right. But look, y'all, I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah, NVIDIA puts exactly. Yep. Yeah, 26. He said his honey bun. Yeah, that's what it's about. All right. He said no sound. Y'all can't hear me? How about now? Can y'all hear me? It's funny because some people are saying no sound, but I'm seeing people also responding to what I'm saying. So I'm not sure who can hear me and who can't. Again, as y'all come in, hit that like button. Who can hear me? Just say yes if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. All right, well, look, yeah, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. Again, if you are just joining this live, make sure you go back and watch it. Look at the levels. Take in everything that I'm talking about. This week is going to be a big week. Again, if you are not a part of the Prosperity Collective, please do yourself a favor and go hit the link in this description. All right, just go look. I could sell you all day on why you should join the Prosperity Collective, but I would much rather you go read it, right? From people who are actually in it and what they actually think about us and what they said on their own. Okay? From there, take a risk on yourself, right? Don't procrastinate any longer. Guess what, y'all? It's about to be second quarter of the year. Let me ask you this. Who's still on track to do what they said they were going to do this year? Who's still on track to achieve the goals this year that they set for themselves? I just want to see quickly, right? Whether you in the Prosperity Collective or not, right? Who is on track to finish what they said they was going to finish this year? Check back in with yourself. Get back aligned, right? Get back aligned with yourself. The way that you do that is by curating the environment. And we already have done that for you with Prosperity Collective. All right, again, I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember, invest smart so that you can live free. Okay, again, the link to TPC is in the description of all of my videos. All right, tomorrow we are going to go crazy in the market. This week might be your biggest week. All right, take my word for it. I'll see y'all again tomorrow live on here for those who are not in TPC. For those who are, I'll see you in the morning. All right, y'all enjoy yourselves. Happy Sunday. It's always love over here. Peace.